There's nothing outside you. That is what you must ultimately learn. That's interesting. And of course, ultimately, it is true, even scientifically, you can look at it and see the entire world, whatever you experience as the world, is a phenomenon that takes place in your mind. You see things, hear things, the sense perception is translated into nerve impulses that are sent to the brain. There's no sound in the brain. The sound is translated into nerve impulses, the visual perception and tactile and so on becomes signals, symbols that are transmitted, and then something happens in the human mind, interprets these symbols, the signals, and a world arises. So ultimately there is no world out there. The world is an inner phenomenon. And that's why you are so powerful. When you truly realize that, then the world changes. First your world changes. The way in which you experience the world changes. And so that happens to every human being, and then what we consider to be the collective world would also change if enough people change their perceptions and by awakening. But ultimately it always boils down to one person's world. It's the world. If your mind is deeply conditioned to believe that the world is a hostile place and a place of struggle and violence, and if those deep-seated beliefs are there in you, then the way in which you interpret sensory stimuli and so on creates that kind of world that you then inhabit. You inhabit a world that reflects back to you your predominant state of consciousness. But it's also in you that the world can change. So it's not out there. It's a change of mind, so to speak. An awakening is how the world changes.
抖音、